Hi everyone, I'm Evan Irani with your CBS 8 Plus extended forecast. We are checking in on Hurricane Hilary as she continues to move north across the Baja Peninsula and toward Southern California. We want to let you know we are recording this right now on Saturday afternoon specifically. We want to give you the latest updates now between about this 2 and 5 p.m. stretch. These statistics and numbers are going to change, and that's why we'll be giving you constant updates throughout tonight and then all the way through the day on Sunday. Sunday expected to be a very pivotal day in terms of wind, rain, and the possibility of some flash flooding across San Diego County and the greater Southern California region. Let's get you clued in on where Hilary is right now. She is currently at a Category 2 storm. She's just off slightly to the west, and specifically more so the northwest of Cabo San Lucas, pushing north. So as she continues to push north, she's encountering cooler ocean water. That cooler ocean water is breaking this storm apart. So previously a Category 4, now a Category 2 storm. That category is measured by those sustained wind speeds around the storm. So Hilary is weakening right now. Winds are at 110 miles per hour. Just beyond 24 hours ago, those winds were at 145 miles per hour. So they've dropped by about 35 miles per hour around the eye wall. That's where that category comes from. She'll drop down to a Category 1 storm by the time we get into that midnight hour. And more specifically, that could happen closer to about 10, 11 p.m. Saturday night. Into Sunday morning, as we start to see this storm push farther north along the Baja Peninsula, it's expected to hit San Diego and Southern California as a tropical storm, and that'll be making landfall tomorrow closer to 4 and 5 p.m. on Sunday. But we have to keep in mind as well that when it comes to the storm, this is a front-loaded storm. The majority of the rain, wind, and that possibility for flash flooding, those severe thunderstorms, going to come on the northern end of this storm. So I want to break that down in just a few minutes, but let's start off with what we see out there right now. Showers are starting to spread across the mountains and deserts. They will begin to spread west from there. So this is between about 2 and 4 p.m. As you can see, a couple light scattered showers begin. What we call popcorn showers are going to start to pop up, and you can already start to see them just around the Mexico area. Ensenada starting to get a little bit of rain over the next several hours. But you can see how San Diego County right now largely dry. All of that rain, though, surrounding us. These are those outer bands of this storm. In terms of watches, warnings, and advisories, a tropical storm watch is in effect. That will remain through Monday morning. We also now have a flood watch. You can't see that because of the coloring tone. These are labeled in priority, but tropical storm watch is on top. Right below that is a flood watch. That's in effect through 11 p.m. on Monday. And then a high wind warning off to the east around the Imperial County area, stretching north. Also want to take you into the greater Southern California area and the western U.S., where we see those flood-related concerns and wind-related concerns stretch all the way up north across the state of Nevada, and even, incredibly so, across areas like Idaho, for example. You never would have thought that this storm could continue to hold on to its strength all the way up through Nevada. But we do expect this to hold on to tropical storm status through the Mojave Desert, which is pretty incredible. Now, tropical storm status is severe, but much less severe than the Category 2 status it's at now, and especially less severe than the Category 4 status it was once at over the open ocean. We are grateful to see currently that this storm is breaking down. It is doing exactly what we expected and what we had hoped it would do. And what it's doing while it's breaking down is it's speeding up. And I know these are two differing ideas, but what we're talking about in terms of its speeding up is the actual movement of the hurricane itself. The entire storm, the eye of the storm, is moving faster, and that's a good thing because it means we have less of a tendency for this storm to be able to stall across the Baja Peninsula or across San Diego or Southern California. So winds are breaking down and slowing down around the eye wall. The storm itself is moving north and it's speeding up. These are two very good things to see and lead us to believe that this will continue to follow within the bounds of what we expected. Still looking at critical storm-related damage across the mountains and deserts. We're talking 5, 7, 10 inches of rain. Closer to the coast and inland, we're looking at 2 to 3 inches. We're also talking, of course, about wind and about factors beyond that, right? Thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms that could be popping up. we're also talking about surf. So there's a lot of factors that kind of go into this at once. Again, currently a Category 2 hurricane. It is moving, look at that, northwest at 17 miles per hour. Earlier, yesterday, this thing was moving at about 9 miles per hour. So Hilary was moving very slowly. She's gained a bit of momentum in terms of how fast she's moving up the coast, but the winds around the eye wall, the damaging winds, are slowing down. That's a very good sign. 285 miles just off of the coast of Baja. We continue to watch it push north. It'll be a Category 1. Again, some models have that happening at midnight, others closer to 11 p.m. Either way, you can expect it probably within that hour. 11 p.m. to midnight on Saturday night. Keeps moving up the coast. Let's talk about San Diego. It is expected to hit around the northern Baja Peninsula closer to early Sunday morning. The most intense winds and rain will come following 11 a.m. on Sunday through its landfall at about 4 and 5 p.m. It'll be way up to the north of LA by the time we get into Sunday night at 11 p.m. And then from there, all this activity tapers off. Here's close to midnight on Saturday night. This is San Diego County that we have on the map here and a little bit outside of it. I want to show you how much that rain really increases in intensity through Sunday. You see how the brunt of that yellow, orange, red tones, those started to really push through the day on Sunday. So when we're talking about the time that you should be at home, that you should be inside of your house, not traveling on the roads, not out in the ocean water, all of these things we emphasize during the day Sunday, morning to night, Sunday all day. There's really no other time that we strongly suggest that you are in your home. We continue on through Sunday. You can see how those showers on the back end are still with pretty decent strength, but we pause this at Monday at 5 a.m. and we see that a lot of this has tapered off, this activity. Right now, we see this storm moving so much faster that its landfall is expected to be faster. About 24 hours ago, we expected landfall to come closer to late Sunday, 10, 11, midnight. Now we have that moved all the way up to about 4 and 5 p.m. It's a pretty decent speed that this storm is starting to gain on us. High-resolution models show that rain really spreading from east to west. And you can see those more intense yellow and orange bands of precipitation starting to move in. Here's Saturday at 10 p.m. This is a very sensitive model. So there is the possibility that where you see those lighter green tones, there's not as much activity happening. But where you see the yellow and darker green, that's where we will start to see a little bit more moderate activity. This is going to pick up from 10 p.m. Saturday all the way through early Sunday. Here's 1 a.m. Sunday. Those showers continue moving to the north. Embedded heavier thunderstorms possible within all of this. And then watch as we pass all the way into 5:30 a.m. This is when wind is going to start to strengthen during the Sunday morning stretch and where we start to see the coastline under that chance of more moderate to heavy bands of showers. If we push all the way to when that eye of the storm is about 6 hours out from us, this is where the strongest winds and the strongest rains are expected to take place. We see that across the mountains and deserts, things are especially starting to pick up. You've got some red tones bleeding in there across your inland valleys, even toward your coastline. And then if we fast forward from 10 a.m. all the way through about 1:30, 2 p.m., everything turns over to that yellow-red tone. And that's where we see the possibility of some of these rain rates coming down at about half an inch to a full inch an hour, especially across the mountains and deserts. Mountains and deserts, the eastern facing slopes of the mountains are where we're seeing the most concern. Mount Laguna, looking at a forecast of about 7 to 10 inches of rain. Along the coastline and inland, we're looking at about 2 to 3 inches in total. We have been able to handle that before. What we're more so concerned about closer to the coast and inland on top of the rain is the wind. Wind is going to be a huge component of this storm. Across the mountains and deserts, flash flooding is going to be the primary component that we're focused in on, although it will still be incredibly windy and just raining in general. So flash flooding in conjunction with just typical river levels, everything that we would normally be concerned about in a longer, stretching, spanning storm. I want to continue this clock all the way through landfall. So I'll push this through about 4 p.m. and the bulk of this storm now continues traveling north. We start to see it break down Sunday, 4 p.m. Look at that. Showers could start to taper off closer to San Diego down through the South Bay and really continue tapering off around that stretch. And that's where we see, pushing into Monday morning, a much drier stretch on the way. Let's talk about winds now. So at this point, we see that as of late tonight, the mountains will start to see their 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts pick up. These wind arrows are showing the direction of the wind. Right now, all of that wind is flowing south. It's moving from north to south. So these are northerly winds. And what we're seeing is that all of this wind is moving from areas of higher pressure to areas of lower pressure. The center of the storm has the lowest pressure, and that air naturally wants to move from high pressure to low pressure. So it keeps moving toward the storm. It's moving from the north to the south. And then as this storm starts to approach, you're going to be able to see these arrows move around a bit. Winds start to pick up tomorrow morning, 50s, even near 60 mile per hour range for gusts across the mountains. Purple is the color we are most concerned about. Purple shows upwards of 40 mile per hour gusts toward 50, 60 mile per hour stretch. So I want to pause this as we get into 2 p.m. This is just ahead of the eye of the storm. Notice all of these arrows are now flowing right towards the eye right to the south of us. We're starting to see across the mountains and deserts 40, 50 mile per hour consistent winds. Fallbrook, same situation at 40 by the time we get to 2 p.m. Where the coast is where we're most concerned about that damage, because the coast is not exactly used to 30, 40, 50 mile per hour gusts. Alpine, 52. Some of these numbers, of course, are a little bit more conservative. There is the possibility that we will see gusts upwards of 60, 70 miles per hour, especially closer to your mountains and deserts. Let's watch as that eye moves north. Look at that stretch. Now that wind is starting to point north as the eye of the storm moves overhead. So 8 p.m., now it's all moving toward the center of low pressure. Winds have shifted direction pretty dramatically. And then as we go into late Sunday, early Monday, all that wind starts to taper off. We calm down quite a bit. Winds are not quite as active for late Sunday, early Monday. I want to show you that 8-day forecast and how today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are these 3 critical days that we are tuned into. After late Sunday into early Monday, we'll see a few remaining showers tapering off. Temperatures are going to be coolest in that about Monday stretch, and then we'll start to see those temperatures rebound and climb once again. A lot of sunshine, a lot of more moderate temperatures as we get into the beginning and middle portion of next week. Temperatures balancing out toward about average, very warm right now in some spots. So notice that 85-degree high versus dropping down to 78, climbing again 89 by Monday, and then back to the triple digits, incredibly so. Sunshine in triple digits out there by Friday, Saturday for our local deserts. Mountains are going to be seeing the 80s at that time. So I know this is a lot of information to be taken in. I want to point out just a couple of things and kind of give you the overarching theme. The big emphasis that we have right now is that the storm is moving faster than originally anticipated. It will be out of our hair by Monday morning and Monday afternoon. That is faster than we originally thought. We originally thought landfall would be closer to midnight at Sunday. Now it is closer to 5 p.m. on Sunday. This is great news. That means it is a faster moving storm and has less of a possibility of stalling. It's also great news to see this eye wall breaking down. Less defined eye wall and less impactful winds, but still expected to make landfall in San Diego as a tropical storm 4 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Second thing that I want to note here is that this is the time, if you haven't already, prepared to do so. I will, and no one here at CBS 8 will make any apologies for encouraging people to be prepared for this storm. It is critical that you over-prepare now, and that way when this storm arrives, you are good to go. If it does not pan out as intense in some spots, because there are going to be localized heavier spots than others, keep in mind you're still left there, hopefully, if you've prepared, with a full tank of gas, with an emergency preparedness kit, with non-perishables. We've also suggested that you keep cash on hand because there is a possibility of credit card machines, for example, going down. So if you would like to know how to prepare, you want to head to cbs8.com. It has more info on all the preparedness underway. We know that there are sandbags being piled up. Please secure any outdoor furniture that you have that could possibly blow around in this wind, because Sunday is going to be the day. If you're making travel plans over the course of the day on Sunday, drive very carefully. Try to keep those roads clear for emergency vehicles. We want to make sure that Sunday, if everyone's in their homes, it will go a lot smoother than if everyone's out on the roads not taking it quite as seriously. So we encourage you to take this seriously, because we, again, are not going to make apologies for having you over-prepared for a storm that we have not seen in a century. it is important that we are ready for this. 2 to 3 inches close to the coast. 5 to 7 inches, localized heavier accumulations of 10 inches across our mountains and deserts. That's in this 48-hour stretch, making flash flooding easily a possibility. There are some models that push rainfall accumulations to about a foot for Mount Laguna. That is an incredible amount of rain coming in 48 hours. So we're going to keep monitoring the storm. Again, this is being recorded right now on Saturday evening, about 4 or 5 p.m. We will keep you up to date here and on our website, cbs8.com. You can also download the CBS 8 app. We'll be giving you these continuous updates all night and into early tomorrow morning. It will be a long span that we have these up. Again, for more of the latest, cbs8.com and the CBS 8 app. We hope you have made your preparations. The storm is about to make its way to us. I'm meteorologist Evan Irani. Have a good day.